Everybody ready? Come on, let's go.
The Rick Thorne Show! Let's go! The Rick Thorne Show! Let's go!
Hey, yo, what's up? This is Rick Thorne. Welcome to the show. I'm stoked you're here. Woo! Yeah! I got an amazing guest this episode. Good friend of mine, longtime friend, Efrem Schulz. What's up?
What up? What's up, dude?
What are you doing?
It's hanging, man.
Oh,
Hanging
hey,
in.
wait, hold on. Efrem's in a band, bro.
Whoa, I'm in a couple bands, dog.
You're in a few bands,
Yeah,
bro.
I am. I'm in a band called Death by Stereo.
Huh?
Another band called Manic Hispanic.
Huh?
And actually, recently got involved with a project I've been doing called Mutiny that I want to tell you about.
You're going to
We'll get into that.
How you feeling? You good?
I'm feeling great, man.
You got good energy, dude.
Dude, you got good energy, man.
I'm telling you, I forget. I was talking about that with Jeff, and like I feel like people look at me like I'm crazy.
Dude, we're both the same.
And he's like, no, they're looking at you because you're interesting. I'm like, all right, that's a good way to look at it. See, I have this theory.
I think our brains are firing
They are.
nonstop.
I went from Outcast. Listen, went from Outcast, X Games.
Totally.
So everyone liked you, and now
100%.
I'm back to Outcast.
I love it, dude. I love it. Very,
I don't know which one I like better.
very similar paths that we've walked.
You too?
You know what I mean?
You
Yeah,
too?
I went from just loser sitting on the curb with a skateboard guy to Epitaph.
Back to the skateboard.
Now I'm just the guy. Yeah, now I'm just a guy, a loser again.
Save that cup for change.
Yeah, I know, dude. That's amazing.
Can you help me? I'm trying to get my record deal.
Hey, man.
So you were on Epitaph.
Yeah, we did 3 records on Epitaph Records. Death
Death by Stereo did.
Yeah, and then, ironically, years later, I ended up joining the Voodoo Glow Skulls and singing with them for 7 years, and they were a big part of the Epitaph legacy too. So I feel really grateful and lucky that I was able to be a part of, that Epitaph legacy in such a deep way. When Death by Stereo got on Epitaph, I couldn't believe it. I was like, what?
That's amazing. What year was
my
that?
favorite guitar player ever, and favorite songwriter, and Bad Religion was my favorite. They're in my top 3 bands of all time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, we got on Epitaph. We signed, I want to say, at the end of '99, and then had a record out in 2001, and then we met you in the airport on our first tour in the UK.
That's right. Dude, everyone out there, we met at the airport.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the UK on our first time going to Europe. We
It
were
was
so
crazy
hyped.
because we went to the bathroom and there was this hole, and then
Exactly. No, we
It's a
were literally
joke.
we were in like a magazine shop or whatever
Yep.
bookstore at the airport.
Yep.
And because everybody used to read on flights.
Yeah.
And our drummer Todd at the time, who we were talking about yesterday, Todd comes walking up to me. He's like, dude, that's Rick Thorne. And I'm like, what? And we're like, no way, it's Rick Thorne's here. And like, we just started talking to you, and you were super cool, and you never forgot us. You never lost touch. You ended up interviewing us for Fox Sports at the Troubadour because, fast forward, we were headlining our own shows, and and you came and supported us and helped blow us up to the world.
No, dude,
cool.
it was awesome to meet you guys. That was back when like everything was kind of new. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the Warped Tour, and it's still kind of relatively new. And then
Yeah.
there's all this, like, we were touring a lot and traveling a lot as BMXers. We went from like being at like the state fairs for all those years. So meeting you was just as much of an honor because it was like, meeting all the bands was always like rad. Because we were always like,
wild.
we love music. We need music to ride to.
Yeah.
And I always wanted to start a band. I just didn't have the balls to do it back then. So when I met you guys, I was like, this is sick. And then I ended up interviewing you with Death by Stereo years later for Fox TV
Yep.
at the Troubadour.
That was so wild.
That was wild.
That is so
Seems like the other
crazy.
day. I was like 20 years ago, dude.
I remember we were so hyped because, like, you remembered.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you remembered us. We were so stoked, man.
Yeah. How
Very
can
meaningful,
how
dude.
can I forget you, bro?
It's fucking so
you got
cool,
this
man.
energy that's like good. It's contagious.
Dude, it's
But
awesome.
so Epitaph, let me ask you this: when you get off of a record label,
Yeah.
like, and you've had a few records, I'm sure some people could probably be salty, be like, oh, you guys are still all cool.
Totally cool. Like, I dude.
Things just run their course.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm grateful that Brett Gurewitz gave me a chance to see the planet, dude. You know what I mean? Like,
You guys toured a lot then.
dude, yeah, dude. And like, dude, it was like all of a sudden we're on this giant label, you know, that blew up the Offspring and bands like that. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
dude, it put us on such a different platform. And, you know, all of a sudden, next thing you know, we're in like Italy, like, you know, in all these magazines. You could pick up a music magazine on a rack and, you know, Death by Stereo, cool
Yeah.
new band, California. We're like, what? You know, like,
Yeah, catapulted you.
yeah, it was wild, dude. And we got to play with every band we ever wanted to. We ended, dude, during our years on Epitaph, we probably played with Bad Religion like 100 times, dude.
Wow.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
doing an entire Warped Tour with them. Like, dude, being on Warped Tour, things like that because of Epitaph, you know what I mean? And
Yeah.
playing with everyone from NoFX to Hot Water Music.
So wait, who would
touring
you
with
tour
Alkaline Trio.
with?
We toured with AFI, Rise Against, Alkaline Trio. And also the thing about our band is we always rode the line between punk and metal, kind of like Strung Out, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And we took it in a really hardcore direction because I just love hardcore. And so we could tour with heavy bands too. So, dude, we toured with Soulfly, you know what I mean? We Shadows Fall. We got to do a small bit of touring with Slipknot, which was mind-blowing,
Wow.
dude. Yeah, that was
Wow.
just like, what? How did we get here? You know, and dude, honestly, like, had Brett Gurewitz not given us a chance, I mean, how the fuck would I have ended up in any of those places, dude? You know what I mean? Like,
Well, how did it start for you to begin with? Before that, like, how did you get into music?
I'd always been into music as a kid, and like looking for records at the swap meet. You know, my mom would give me a little money to get records.
Kids
and
will never experience that nowadays.
no, it's crazy.
It was
And-
fun going to record stores and you'd find like a
Yeah.
jam and you'd be like, no way.
No, totally.
This is $3. Like,
And-
what?
And
You
I
know?
also had no idea what was what, so I would look at the covers. And dude, it could have been a rock record or a disco record if it had a cool cover. I was a little kid, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Oh, this looks crazy. Okay. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And I remember I got a Beach Boys live record.
Oh, cool.
That blew my mind. Chuck Berry's greatest hits blew my mind.
Wow.
You know, old stuff. You know.
So
and
you knew you wanted to be a singer, or did you want to
I
be?
just knew I liked music.
And you wanted to be involved.
Totally. And
Yeah.
like I grew up hearing, because my parents are from Mexico. I have a German last name because my grandmother's from Berlin on my dad's side.
Okay.
But he was born and raised in Mexico, and that's where he met my mom.
Okay.
And so I grew up hearing a lot of Mexican music. You know, I had like a kind of a really good mix of music growing up in my head, and then, you know, skating, being a little kid, and having some older punk guy show me the toy dolls, you know, and being
Yeah.
like, "What is this?"
Yeah.
And then right after that, finding Black Flag.
But you're an Orange County kid.
Yeah,
Got
finding
it.
Black Flag right after that, and then finding Adolescents, and then figuring out, wait a second, this Adolescents is from my neighborhood. What the fuck? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
these bands are actually like attainable and accessible, and you can just go see them.
What are the big? Yeah, dude, and that's amazing.
You
what
know-
especially Adolescents? God, they're so good.
Yeah.
What's some other bands in your, just curiosity, that grew up in your neighborhood? You got Adolescents, Social
DI, Social D, Agent Orange. Oh geez, now what can I'm the Detours.
Would you
who
would
were,
you go
like,
would
the
you go
big
see them
influence.
play? Were you a little kid and go see them play?
Yeah, I saw them pretty young, a lot of those bands, and then I remember getting turned away from like 21 and over shows, sometimes getting in, you know.
Got it.
And I remember
And this is before you had started a band.
totally. I had little like jams and things I was
But
trying
not
to do.
fully like ready
Yeah,
to go.
nothing real, you know. And then I remember not being able to get into this club called Goodies when DI made their Live at a Dive record and being crushed. You know what I mean? Like, oh, you know. But
Yeah.
I was so into all these bands, dude. Like, and when I figured out I could go to shows, me and the few friends I had that knew about punk or liked punk, dude, we were catching rides, taking buses, skating, riding bikes, anything to go see shows, dude. Like I was just hooked.
What were the big places to see shows? Just curiosity. And 'cause I grew up in the Midwest, so I looked into the West Coast, and the East Coast a lot. You do that a lot because I always dreamed of
Totally.
West Coast. So I'm like, a lot of places I didn't get to experience and go to that was always like, that I wanted to. But what were some of the clubs you went to in Orange County? Do you remember? Like Cuckoo's Nest, was that down there?
Cuckoo's Nest was in Orange County. There was
Was the Doll Hut still open way back then?
Yeah, the Doll Hut
still
back
kicking
in the
it.
day. Yeah, and back in the day when it was Linda's Doll Hut. Linda, she's such an amazing human being.
Shows
It
were
was-
sick, right?
Yes, and I remember turning 21 and like taking lunch breaks and going to the Doll Hut and having beers, and like because there'd be
okay.
bands like practicing there and stuff and jamming in there.
Oh, cool.
You know what I mean? So I'd be like, I might see somebody jamming.
Dude, I just did a
wanted to be
comedy show
around
there.
it.
Yeah, I just did a comedy show at the Doll Hut.
Really?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
I played
dude.
there before too. That's like I saw Shane McGowan and Social D there and like small. But that's just a little taste of what I got.
Steve
You must
Soto used to be the door guy at the Doll Hut.
No
And
way.
he used to book bands there, and I remember going there.
No way.
Oh
Really?
yeah, and I remember
wow.
going there before like I knew Steve, and just being like a fan and being like,
You're like,
oh my
dude,
god,
he's Adolescents.
yeah, that's he's right here. Holy shit, And
Yeah.
then he is the one who kind of I think got that whole thing started when Flogging Molly was in their like early phases. They were like the Monday night house band at the Doll Hut for a long time.
Flogging Molly.
Yeah, playing to 10 people. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Dude, but I mean, you go back even way before
Like
that.
even before that when you were like
into
a
the
little
80s,
kid. Yeah.
into the 90s. I remember seeing Sublime like every weekend.
Really?
Dude, I saw Sublime so many fucking times at parties. I remember seeing there was this weird little bar in La Mirada called Chex, and like seeing them in Chex for like 8 people, dude, and the dog bit someone. And yeah, I swear to God.
Well, you know what? Dalmatians are like that, aren't
They're
they?
wild dogs.
They're pretty
dude.
aggressive.
Yeah.
They can be, right?
Yeah, and dude,
I don't know.
like,
I never had one. I just heard.
I love Dalmatians. I
They're
like
cool.
fucked
They're
up
cool.
dogs. I'm weird, but
I think they're cool. I've never had
yeah.
one, but people say that they can be aggressive.
totally.
Yeah. So,
And-
anyways,
But anyways, like, dude, I saw all those shows. I mean, I saw, I saw DI a bunch. I saw a lot of punk shows. I saw
let me stop you for
Fear.
a second. He would bring his
But
dogs to the shows too.
Bradley Noel had that dog at every show, dude. A lot of the shows I saw, the dog was there.
I think
They
on
would just
Warped
be
Tour, his
stage
dogs were
with
on
him.
there too.
Yeah, the dog would just chill in this Dalmatian, just chilling there. You're like, what is that dog? Must have been deaf. Like, dude, you know what I mean?
What do you think of his son?
Oh, dude, I think it's incredible.
He's killing it, right?
Dude,
Amazing.
it's like the most poetic and coolest
Way cool.
vibe and thing that could ever happen, and it's so touching. And then hearing him sing those songs, you're just like, dude, I was there. It sounds like his fucking dad, dude.
He's really good.
I was at a lot of those shows, man, and dude, it sounds like his dad. It's mind blowing, dude.
So what were those shows like back then?
Incredible. They were very chaotic. Like
Was there
Sublime
a lot of people, or was there still kind of underground?
It wasn't that big yet, and then it did get bigger, like locally bigger,
Got quicker.
Yeah,
right?
like there was a place called the Ice House in Fullerton,
Yep.
and where the Vandals filmed "Sweatin' to the Oldies," and that neighborhood used to be called Tokerstown. It used to be a Vadio when I was young, and I went to elementary school right there.
What, in Fullerton?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that venue had a lot of fucking fights.
Wait, what
The
was
Vandals shut it down.
What was it called again?
The Ice House.
Ice House.
The Vandals shut it down. Some guy got stabbed at a Vandals show, and it finally got like shut down, dude.
Because
But,
there's a
like,
comedy place called the Ice House.
Oh, I know, in Pasadena.
Yeah.
And but the Ice House was
so
really
so
cool.
so someone got stabbed at a Vandal show.
Yeah, and they shut the place down because that was like the straw that broke the camel's back. There was a lot of violence there, but everyone played there.
So was
Whether
it more
was-
violent in the
I
early
saw-
days of Orange County?
What's that?
Was it more violent in the early days of Orange County?
It was
punk
super
shows?
violent, dude.
Yeah.
Like 90s, we were going to shows and always being like, "Fuck, man, I hope we don't get beat up by Nazis."
There was a lot of skinheads then.
Oh
though,
yeah,
right?
and we were like, I was fortunate that some of my friends were like the sharp skins and the good skinheads. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
Like the homies, and like I was really lucky, man. You know what I mean? Like 'cause I was like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get back. I'm gonna get killed today.
Yeah, that
but
stuff's so stupid.
it was
man.
wild as fuck.
Yeah.
But dude, Sublime shows were like the most. People don't understand how punk Sublime is. The most punk shit ever. Sometimes they wouldn't even show up. Everybody would be at the show like, do you think they're gonna show up? Or do you think they'll be on time? Do you think they're going to play? Do you think they're going to be fucked up? Because sometimes they'd be fucked up and just start jamming and making noise, and they'd just be terrible. But it was kind of rad, And then sometimes they were the most perfect band, and Bradley was just so fucking fluid, playing guitar and singing. And dude, like that dude was a genius.
You guys just
man.
knew by listening that they were going to be something.
Oh, dude, yeah, that.
I always joke.
I remember having that tape, that first
Yeah.
40 Ounce of Freedom tape that was different than the major label release because they had all these different samples on it. Led Zeppelin.
That's
you know?
awesome. The comedian in me has this imagination to think like, what if Sublime was around today? Would they still be?
I know. Like,
I think of that stuff. Or like, what if Kurt Cobain was around? Would he have like a receding hairline?
Yeah,
holding
like,
on to
it'd
like
be
the little
weird.
hair he had.
Yeah.
With a beer gun. People are like,
What
give
would
it
be
up,
like?
dude.
What would it be like?
Well, people would be
right?
like, just stop. But since he passed before he really
crazy,
reached
right?
his creative,
Oh, yeah.
like not prime, but you know, when he's killing it.
Would
No pun
Bradley be
intended,
famous
but-
like Snoop or something?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He'd be
Yeah.
like the Snoop of reggae.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like, I
he'd be
don't
like,
know.
Just, he'd be like, oh, or like, you know, big beer gun, like still jamming. and
So awesome. Like,
you
yeah,
can't
man.
Like, that's what so much to tell Vince Neil. No, I'm just kidding.
That's amazing. Dude, yeah.
I'm just saying, have you seen that show?
Oh, dude.
Come on, man. Stop.
Vincent Neil.
See, that's a perfect, that could have been Kurt. We'd be like, just stop.
Amazing. I feel like that dude would have
It's
just
just
like.
my imagination.
I have this
you know? I
vision
just
of
think
Kurt
that.
Cobain just being like middle fingers to the world and doing something really cool.
Yeah.
And odd and creative. when he
5
rolled
o'clock shadow ball with the gut.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, I'm still doing it.
Like when the Runaways, like the singer from the Runaways, didn't she literally become like a chainsaw sculptor and move to the woods or something? Like,
Did she?
I swear that's what I heard.
Dude, that sounds like, what's his name? Daniel Day-Lewis, that big actor.
Oh yeah, he's amazing.
Became a shoemaker.
Really?
He wanted to quit
A
acting.
cobbler.
Yeah.
He's a cobbler.
That's what I heard. He wanted to quit acting, got like, and then he started making shoes and like, it's like, I guess,
Good for him.
Yeah.
Found something he likes.
Yeah, you know, and you got the money from acting to do what you
He
like.
just retire and do
Because
his hobby.
if you're dirt poor, you might not want to be making
Yeah,
shoes.
yeah,
You're
exactly.
trying to think of something
I'm
else.
still
you
trying
know?
to figure out how to support my punk rock habit.
Yeah.
You
Once I get filthy rich off this podcast and everything I'm doing,
Yeah.
I might start making something like, I don't know, what would be a good thing to make?
Rick's rings.
Socks.
Rings, dude.
Ring.
Jewelry.
Oh,
You'd be a
ring.
rad ring maker, dude.
Oh, I could. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. Like
Yeah.
Rusty.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Shout out Rusty, H2O.
Rusty.
Best dude ever.
Anyhow, I'm just having fun. I think of that though. That's cool. You saw Sublime, a bunch of bands, got you motivated.
Dude, yeah.
What was a band that got you the most? You were like, okay, I'm just gonna go for. Oh, I got to start a band now. Did you have that moment, that tipping point where you're like, all right, I'm gonna do this?
You know what? I think Bad Religion really kind of set a fire with me.
Wait, hold on a second. So Bad Religion motivated you to start a band, and then you got on Epitaph. That had to be surreal.
It's fucking bonkers, dude. Like something
You became
about
friends
what
with
they
Brett.
did really spoke to me. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Yeah, and then like yeah, it's crazy, right?
That's a
Like,
cool story. I
it's-
love these type of stories.
It's
bro.
fucking bonkers, dude. Like I'm a big Bad Religion fan, man, and it was just totally surreal. Our old bass player Paul Miner, who is actually writing stuff with us, might probably
Is that his
play
real
on-
last name?
Miner, yeah.
Okay.
And he's gonna probably play on our new stuff, but he's a great record producer, works with tons of awesome people.
Awesome.
But Paul at the time was the band's home phone number at his mom's house, and he kept getting messages on the machine, and he's like, "Hey, we went to his house to jam." He's like, "Check this out," and it was, we didn't believe it. It's
Yeah.
Brett Gurwitz. I'm looking for Paul Miner, and.
It's crazy.
Yeah, and we didn't believe it. And then finally, his assistant called. This is Brett Gurwitz's assistant, and he's like, "Oh, I think we should call it back." And then we called
Was it
that.
spam?
Yeah, exactly. And it was really them. And we thought it was a crank call from one of our friends or something,
Yeah.
And then, dude, he talked to us a little bit. Came to see us play at the Key Club with Ignite and Straight Faced, and we played the night before in
The Key Club.
Yes, dude. And we had played the night before in the Inland Empire at a place called the Showcase Theater that was legendary. Like, crazy place that had the craziest punk shows. Chaos when you play there, right? We had just played the night before in there. Place was packed to the gills. People diving off every surface they could stage off of. Then we get to the Key Club and it's just dead. And we were so bummed. And we were like,
Because Key Club, for everyone listening, is in Hollywood.
yeah, and it's a big deal.
It's yeah.
And
you think it was because of a different vibe because it was on the strip?
Totally.
Like where it was at?
Totally. And,
Yeah.
and it was a big deal to
Yeah.
play there. And like,
Because the Key Club used to have great shows, but I'm just
Totally.
saying.
And we ended up headlining there down the road, you know.
Compared to the venue you were at, though, that was more raw.
It was raw as fuck.
Got it.
And this
got
venue was, you know, it was like, you know, from zero rules room, fucked up old room to, you know, fucking professional venue like House of Blues or something. You know?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And there's no one there, and Brett Gerwitz is sitting in the balcony, and we're just like, I remember we were all like, fuck. There was like 15 people in there, and we were like, fuck it. And we just fucking went as hard as we could, and we had a really good time. We just kind of started fucking around and just being ourselves and having fun. You know, some of us were like drinking beers during the set, just fucking around, and whatever, you know. And at the end of the set, he came to the stage, hopped up, and just introduced himself to us, and we were just like, what? And I remember he looked at us. He's like, "You guys want to make a record?"
You had to be like, "What?"
Oh yeah, and I remember I was like, "Yes, that's all I've ever wanted to do. Yes, we want to make a record. Yes."
And this is before you ever even made a record.
We had made one record with our buddy Dave, who ran a label called Indecision Records, basically out of his house.
So then this was your second record.
Yeah,
that
but
was Epitaph.
we ended up.
That's solid, bro.
We ended up selling like a bunch of those records out of our buddy Dave's garage, you know what I mean? Out of his house label, dude, like a bunch. And he was putting out hardcore records, all these OC bands and stuff. And like, dude, Indecision Records still ruling right now. And
awesome.
His label ended up blowing up. And but Epitaph bought us out from him.
That's awesome.
They did right by him. You know what I mean?
That's great.
And,
yeah.
And for a local band, we were selling a lot of records, and so Epitaph.
She created the buzz. I met Gerwitz at the last weekend. We were at the last NoFX shows.
Wow.
And he was with Tim from Rancid, and Tim said hi, and I don't know Brett. And he just, and he just looked me up and down. He was trying to figure out who I was.
Yeah.
And I shook his hand. I'd never met the guy, but he seemed, you know, real cool, and just trying to figure out who I was, because Tim knew me and he was trying to put it together, you know. And I was like, "That's awesome." So it was cool to finally meet him.
It's a trip, man.
Yeah,
it's fucking Brett.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
dude, you wrote like the best songs ever.
Yeah,
like, dude, thanks for the best songs ever, Brett.
You
know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
he's a beast. He's a beast.
And that was a big skateboarding band for me too.
Listening
to Bad Religion and going skating, and like that was a big deal. And those Bad Religion shows in LA were wild. And when Bad Religion got really big and started headlining like the Palladium and stuff, I remember like those were like the first. I mean, like some of those circle pits were so fucking bonkers and violent and crazy. And I remember
that's right. That's when people would still show up just to the pit to hurt people.
Oh, totally. Like
that was their whole deal. That was their whole deal.
Savages, dude.
That was like every city was like that. Every county, there was had to be that one club where people just wanted to take moshing and the pit to the level of like just hurting somebody.
It was bonkers.
Yeah.
And
which I was never into. I was into like getting into the pit and having fun.
Yeah.
But not like to where you just
we were just talking about this back in the day. Like end of the 80s, into the 90s. I remember just, dude, if you were a long hair, you were fucked. And dudes would jump up. And I was talking to someone who actually used to do this. Would jump up and grab a long hair and fall down with them to the floor in the pit. You know?
Yeah. Oh yeah. People. Yeah. I mean, people did stupid stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, it's so funny.
Yeah,
dude,
but I've seen some. Yeah. But that. So do you think punk rock will ever be the same? Those shows? No.
It'll never be like that. There is an underground that's wild and going crazy. Like,
is that more like hardcore music though?
Yeah, that's true. It is a little more hardcore, and like, but we saw like all those during the pandemic, all those ditch parties in LA.
Yeah.
And all the riverbeds and under the bridges.
Yeah,
there was some wild shit. So like,
it's still out there.
I think it's out there, and I think it lives.
But you lived in a part of a time that was like before, that was on the brink of like mainstream.
Totally.
You know,
100%.
Like that was like the right there in that moment.
Totally.
You know,
like Fugazi was banging. You know what I mean?
Fugazi.
Just smashing on tour, and I don't know. It was a cool era.
Fugazi did it right.
Yeah, dude.
And they're the only band I know that says we retire and never come back.
It's so dope.
I heard if you retire, you got to retire.
I heard that they still play, but only like in Ian's house, like in the basement for themselves. That's what I heard.
That's even cooler.
They're just bros and they just jam.
I got to tell you this story because what I like about this episode is we're telling stories, which is great.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you guys love hearing all this stuff. A long time ago, maybe 1987 or something, we got a demo tape from a friend of ours that moved to the East Coast, and it was Fugazi before Fugazi was released. And I still have the cassette.
Really?
And a lot of those songs, like Furniture I remember one of them that was released years later, but we have the demo recording of all those songs.
That's insane.
Before, then they're different versions, a little bit different.
You should talk to
or
Ian
Ian
about
talking, and I met Ian one time,
That's
but
cool.
yeah, but Fugazi was a jam.
I met Ian in Washington, D.C. I was on tour managing the Adolescents. This is years ago when Soto.
Wait a second, and then you went on to tour manage the
I
Adolescents.
know who
which
were
is
also one of my
another
favorite
band that
bands
you were
ever.
like, what?
And I ended up being in a band with Steve Soto for years in Manic Hispanic. So like,
yeah.
And this was when Soto was still with us. This is this is pretty bonkers. So I was with
It's
Adolescents.
pretty cool story, bro.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
It's fucking nuts. And I was in D.C. with them.
But you have that energy, bro. I'm telling you. You're just born with who you are. Like people like you, and you're good at what you do. You know?
I appreciate that. And Ian came out with his brother Alec from the cover of the record.
Yeah.
Hunched over, and they pulled up into the back of the venue. And I was so hyped because I never met him before. And Soto introduced me, and I was just like so mind blown. And Mike, who plays drums in Adolescents, who also plays in Death by Stereo, like Ian watched him for like the whole set. And I remember Mike came off stage just like, dude, I was dying. Like
Nervous
I was
as
so
shit.
fucking
like,
nervous.
Ian's
Yeah.
fucking watch me.
You play with the best drummer ever already. You know what I mean? Like, dude, it was. Yeah, but he
Ian's
was
a cool
such a cool dude.
He
I saw him again, and he remembered me, and I was like, dude, you
He's
remember
that kind
me?
of person, I
I
think.
believe you remember me. Like, what?
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I did a cover of Waiting Room with my band.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I'll
That's dope. So did I.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, Manic Hispanic, we changed it to Holding Cell.
Okay, wait, we're going to talk about Manic Hispanic. I'm going to tell you this real quick. This is a little giddy thing for me because Ian's like the punk rock god to me. Like Ian's like voice is the best for me.
Totally.
It's amazing. I did that, and at the time I was working with this guy that knew Ian, and had sent that to him because we were saying, hey, can we license this or something? And Ian's like, no, I'd rather not. And tell Rick I met him years ago on the Huck Jam, and a great cover. And I saved the email.
No way.
I was like, oh, dude, Ian responded. I felt like,
That's amazing.
if I die right now, it's all good.
That's amazing.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
that's fucking badass,
Yeah.
dude.
But anyhow, let's
Dude,
get back.
that's so cool.
Yeah, he's a cool guy. So let's get back to you, though. Let's talk about you and your bands. Death by Stereo.
I'd rather talk about Minor Threat all day.
Minor Threat's pretty good.
Okay, just kidding.
Yeah. I used to wear X's on my hands.
It's fucking awesome.
I did.
That's dope, dude.
Anyways, yeah.
But yes, my band, Death by
Yes,
Stereo.
Death by Stereo. Not to date things, but just like anything new that you got going on, any potential music tours, anything like that.
Yes, like with
Just
Death by
kind of
Stereo,
vaguely with the dates, date things.
everybody's like just busy with their lives, a million bands, families, jobs, other careers, stuff like that. But we're doing it as much as we can, and we're doing it more now than we have in a while. And so we just finished an East Coast tour with Slapshot and Ignite.
Oh, sick.
Which was amazing.
Slapshot, I haven't heard that band in a long
Dude,
time.
so rad.
Aren't they Boston?
Oh, yeah.
Hardcore?
And I'd like to say that their
Punk rock?
singer is probably the angriest frontman alive still. And he's touching 60. And honestly, like
Even more than Negative Approach lead singer. What's his name?
oh, dude, okay.
He's pretty
John
close.
Brannon is the angriest singer ever. Yeah. But, dude, Choke from Slapshot, yes, his name is Choke. We were watching him play. My girlfriend came out to a couple shows on tour to visit me because she's awesome. And she looked at me and she goes, the singer of this band looks like he wants to headbutt somebody at all times. And I'm all, I know, it's fucking awesome.
I never heard that before.
You do great, right?
She wants to headbutt. That's
Great
a good-
observation.
Can I steal that line? Can I use that?
Of course.
Yeah. That
And-
dude looks like he wants to headbutt someone.
At all times. And I was like, yeah, he does. Because, dude, he is so dope. His lyrics are the most vicious. Musically, that band is so gnarly and tight and hard. Like they walk on stage, it's just like this dark, hard, just
So
slap
what was
to
the
the face.
So what was the lineup? What was
It was
the order?
Slapshot, Ignite, Death by Stereo, and this really cool band from New Jersey called School Drugs,
Okay.
who I would describe as like,
So they headlined.
yeah. And
What's it called?
Slapshot headlined,
Slapshot headlined.
Ignite, Death by Stereo, and then School Drugs open.
Got it. Okay.
School Drugs, dude, they're like if the Bronx were like a heavy hardcore band.
Got it.
They're gnarly.
So the reason I was asking is so you guys warmed up for the
Oh,
for
yeah,
the
yeah.
headbutt dude.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Dude, he's so dope, dude. Like, dude.
So
that
the shows went amazing.
Oh yeah, that guy is so rad. And just I really I'm a fan, dude, and I really admire him, and I love his he's able to keep that fire burning.
Yeah.
He is pissed.
Awesome. When you get on shows like
vicious.
this, and is Death by Stereo on a label now? Or you
No,
independent?
I mean we
Independent. doing your
yeah,
thing.
we license our records out.
Got
basically.
it. So if you get on a tour like that, like to get on that tour, is that through a booking or is that through like a homie thing or is it kind of depends?
That one started.
I'm just curious and like people know because some people might not know. You know?
That was all kind of homies because we were trying to do the East Coast with Ignite, and then we both said we'd like to try and build a big package, get a headliner and an opener and sandwich Ignite and Death by Stereo in the middle, and just do something cool on the East. And we ended up doing just us and Ignite in Eastern Canada with Canadian bands.
Yep.
And we flip-flop who headline in different cities. And then when we dropped down to the U.S. East Coast, Brett had been talking to the Slapshot guys, and they were planning on doing something around the same time. We're like, let's combine this idea.
So it's like homies.
Yeah,
connecting.
and it ended up connecting. And then once...
So that still that exists.
Oh, yeah. Once Brett locked that in with Slapshot, then we handed it over to the agents, and they figured it out, you know?
Do you guys have a booking agent?
Yeah, we're with Dave at Covert Booking.
Yeah, I know that guy.
Yeah, great guy. He's from Pittsburgh, and he
booked me on a couple shows before.
Right. And he books Death by Stereo, Voodoo, Ignite, Mustard Plug, the Pie Tasters, a bunch of bands.
Yeah.
And,
does he do a lot of bookings for you guys?
Yeah, he does. He does.
I mean, depending on like whose schedule, who can go on the road, and blah,
yeah,
blah.
he pretty much does everything.
You seem like you would always want to be on the road.
I if I can, yeah.
And then other band members, it could be like not your band, but I'm saying in general, because I have that problem too. It's like, I
hard.
can do this, or I'm touring with this band. Or
Totally, and I totally get it. Like our guitar player JP,
someone has kids or whatever, you know.
Totally, our guitar player JP actually started playing again. He's in this band. He was in this band that's pretty popular. I don't know if you've ever heard of them. They're a metal band. They're called Austrian Death Machine.
What?
And every song is about a different Schwarzenegger movie. So, you know, I need your boots, your jacket, your motorcycle. And they have a guy. Totally.
I'll be back.
Totally.
Get
Get to the chopper. And it's all death metal.
Get to the chopper.
Dude, you would love it, dude. And it's all death metal. And they have a guy on stage with the Arnold mask that does the Arnold parts. And then they have a singer.
So they're like a fun band.
Totally. And
like, got a theme, kind of a
super
joke
fun.
band.
Totally.
Even though they take the music serious, but it's like a fun sing-along.
Dude, it's hilarious.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And so he's going to get busy again with them next year, doing a lot of stuff. Our other guitar player, Dan, plays in Zebrahead.
Yep.
So he's super busy.
He's played shows with me.
Oh, totally. He has.
Shredfest.
Oh, that's right. Shredfest. Dude, Shredfest rules.
That's the thing about musicians that's cool is that like you vibe out. People always, it reminds me a lot of a comedy too. Like, because doing a comedy, just compare the two. Anyone listening is like, you want to get on shows with people because you want the stage time.
Yeah.
You're a musician. You always want to play music.
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I ask you. You seem like the type of person, because I'm this way, and I see this in you, is that like, I could go every day.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
You can call me crazy. I could go ride the skate park during the day, play a show at night. Let's go. I'll do that 365 days. Let's go.
Oh, dude, it's funny.
You know what I mean? That's where I'm at in my life, what I want to do.
When I joined Voodoo Glow Skulls, and I did it I recently just left, and I did it for 7 years.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that.
Dude, at one point...
Is that a weird breaking?
I'm sad about it, because, dude, I love the band, and I love the music, and that's another band. I was at a billion of those shows back in the day, dude. Like, I was at all those shows, and I saw them a bunch of times growing up, and getting in the band, it was like a weird dream come true. I was like, how am I in this band?
Yeah.
This giant fucking band. And, dude, like, when I joined the band, they were kind of going through a rough one, and they had been touring but playing all these clubs and little bars and stuff. And when I got in the band, it was like we experienced this crazy bounce back. And, dude, next thing I know, those guys have done huge stuff their whole lives. You know what I mean? For years, they're in this massive band. But, dude, we started getting on shit that was so big that like it's bigger than anything Death by Stereo ever did. And Death by Stereo did some big shit, dude. But like, dude, Voodoo was just a bigger band, than a lot of bands,
Well, yeah,
and
I cut you off for that. You
they
said
had radio songs,
yeah, you said at one point something like Voodoo Glow Skulls. At one point, you were going to say something, and I cut you off. Do you remember what you were going to say? No, sorry, I don't mean to cut. I've been cutting you off. I don't mean to.
Dude, it's all good. But like,
so you're saying you were doing big gigs, like
we're flying out. Oh, this
like
weekend,
tell me, like what would be a big gig?
This weekend we're flying out to Ohio to play some enormous farm field with the Offspring. You know what I mean? And I was like, oh, or like,
didn't you guys play the Hollywood?
We played the Hollywood Bowl
the Hollywood
with Vampire
Bowl, right?
Weekend, dude.
That's
like,
it. Yeah.
Dude, what?
I saw that and I was like, oh, okay. Do you think that's a combination of the history of the band,
Yeah.
and then even though they had their fan base, all due respect, I know those guys, they're
100%.
great, they're amazing, and then you brought an element of like, oh, whoa, that might have brought a new thing to the band that already was jamming, and then they're like, oh, we want to see this, the curiosity. Because people know you from your band and your energy. So you're like, oh, I wonder what their two are like. Do you think that helped?
I think it did help a lot. And I think a lot of people
kind of reinvented the band in a weird way?
Totally. Yeah. Absolutely. And the first tour I did with the band was we were supporting the Reverend Horton Heat.
He's dope. Yeah, he's good.
He's amazing. And there was a lot of people that were like questioning it. And I think a lot of people came to see it, to see what it was going to be like. And dude, there was no negative feedback. Like everyone was so cool and embraced me and really like took me in. My first show that I played was the It's Not Dead Fest out in San Bernardino. Dude,
wait, you were in Voodoo Glow Skulls that long?
That was my first show. 7 years ago.
That was like 2000 what? 13 or no, 2015 or 16?
15 or 16, yeah.
Because I rode there.
Dude, it was my first show. And I was like,
So wait, so you were in the band for almost 9 years, 10 years or something?
No, it's been 7 years. So maybe it was It's Not Dead 2. I don't know. It was one of the It's Not Dead.
Did they do
fests.
It's Not Dead 2?
Yeah.
Because I did the It's Not Dead first one at the Glendora Raceway.
Dude.
Right? Glen Helen or whatever it's called?
Yeah. Where they have the big amphitheater and they do the big concerts.
And they had a ramp there.
Yeah.
So you weren't on that year?
No, it was probably the one after that they did.
Got it. I didn't know they did 2 of those.
Dude, it was my first show. There's like fucking 10,000 people in front of us. It was super intense. And the thing with Voodoo is Voodoo lives in 2 worlds. Yeah. Voodoo lives in the Spanish-speaking world, too, because there's whole Voodoo albums in Spanish.
Yeah.
And so we played It's Not Dead to this massive crowd. And I was, like, so nervous and spun out and, like, oh, my God, what's happening? Then the show goes bananas. Then we get right into the van and drive to Santa Ana to go headline Observatory on a show with all Mexican bands. We were the only band that had lyrics in English. My first 2 shows were in the same day.
That's cool.
It was bonkers, and I played 2 different crowds, and it was like, what did I just join? I was like, dude, this is fucking bonkers, man. That's awesome. It was so cool, and like, dude, Voodoo in different parts of the world, like Voodoo in Mexico it's a big band, man. Like it's wild, like House of Blues Anaheim, but everywhere. You know, like those big rooms. Yeah. Dude, we played a fest in Mexico City called Hell in Heaven that was like, dude, one of the biggest shows I've ever played in Mexico. Like, it was big, dude. Like, Death by Stereo did some big shit there back in the day, but not like this, you know?
Okay, so let me ask you this.
Yeah.
You're in Death by Stereo.
Yeah.
You're in Voodoo Glow Skulls. Manic Hispanic.
Yeah.
When did you start that? So and you were at 3 bands at one time. That's gotta be insane.
I joined, it was pretty crazy. I joined Manic Hispanic in 2008. I had been friends with the guys, and the singer previous to me, because there was always 3 guys in the front. Uh-huh. There was Sonny, Gabby, and Ace in the beginning. Then it was Sonny, Gabby, and Ray Rodriguez, skater for Pal. Yep. And I really look up to that guy musically, man. He's a genius. But I was the guy that took Ray's spot in Manic Hispanic. Got it. And he had left the band to pursue other stuff, and they asked me to fill in for some shows, and then ended up keeping me, which was like another dream. Because, dude, I was at the second Manic show ever in like '92. Like, I love Manic Hispanic. Your whole story is like it's insane, dude. So you're juggling. I was just a little kid that didn't know anybody, dude. My parents came from Mexico. You know what I mean? I only kind of knew my little family. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. I was got really into punk because I felt like I didn't fit in anywhere, And it was like a dream for me, you know, like Ron Martinez always says this, Ron from Final Conflict. He's like, being a little Mexican kid and being a punker, he goes, you're a minority in a minority. He's like, you know, he's all, you should have felt outcasted.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, and
Yeah.
like, you know what I mean? So like, then I found this music in this world that accepted all of us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You like, dude, back in the day, you couldn't walk around tattooed like you back in the day.
Oh, dude, no. I mean, yeah.
You went through it. You know what I mean? You went through it.
Yeah.
You caught a lot of shit walking down the street looking crazy.
Yeah, that's what I told you I do now.
Still, yeah.
Yeah, I think people look at me like there's so much tension in this world.
It's wild.
That they think I'm like gangbanger or something. Or
Oh,
like
totally.
gonna do something weird, and I'm just like looking around like,
No, I'm just a dude.
no, I'm the BMX dude. What's going on?
Totally.
They're like, get him. You
No,
know?
100%.
Yeah, you feel. That's what I said earlier. You went from outcast to being accepted back to that.
Yeah, no, exactly. But it's crazy to go from that to like
I'm just talking crap. Who
to
knows?
just like.
I think people
now
look
I'm
at
in these
me.
bands, you know?
People look at me because I'm fly, bro. They look at
Exactly.
me like I wish I could be like this guy.
Dude,
He's
my,
doing
my
his
cousin
own
Angel,
thing. You know
my
what I
cousin Angel, I forget the situation, but somebody said something, and he just out loud in this room full of people, he's all, "It's not my fault I'm so pretty." Dude,
Confidence, bro.
Boom.
Yeah. Telling you,
Boom.
Jeff opened my eyes to that one. He's like, imagine if you walked in the room and no one saw you at all.
Exactly.
I'm like, oh, that's a good point.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, man.
So yeah,
Fucking,
you're double minority.
yeah, I know. dude,
Listen
right,
to Minor Threat.
Yeah,
Listen to
exactly,
Adolescents.
dude. I love it.
So this is gonna be a question where you're gonna be like, I can't answer this, but I'm gonna ask you, which band do you like the most performing in?
Oh man.
Yeah, I put you on the spot.
That's a tough one, man.
That's between Manic Hispanic, Death by
Dude.
Stereo, Voodoo Glow Skulls.
They were all so different, and I felt like I became a character in Voodoo, and then I have a different character in Manic. And in Death by Stereo, it's just
You.
me from my heart. It's just me.
You know, I didn't think of that. That is, those are different characters.
Just me, man, and my thoughts. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? And like,
Are you the only existing member in Death by Stereo?
yeah.
No.
I consider Dan an original member because he joined the band shortly after it started, but I'm the last original member.
So you're holding it together.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and 26 years now. And
Wow.
yeah, I can't believe that I'm lucky enough to be a part of these other bands. Like Manic, you know, once again, Manic's another band full of busy people. So Manic happens kind of when it does, and we always kind of look at it like it's like the Elks Lodge for old punkers. We get together when we can, show off
Yeah.
our buckles, catch
You guys
up.
are funny, bro.
You know?
What's his name? Tattoo artist Kenny.
Louis.
Louis, yeah.
Louis is the best, dude.
Louis is a good.
When Louis came to the
what's
band,
his last name?
Perez.
That's it. Yeah.
When he came to
Louis
the band,
Perez, check him out. He's
yes,
he's a good
LP3.
homie. Yeah.
He came to the band. It was
He's
like,
a badass tattoo artist too.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
He changed us forever. Changed the whole course of the band. Brought in this humor and this creativity that was just so fresh and cool, and like it was Soto's idea to get him in the band.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, after Gabby passed, you know, we weren't going to do the band anymore, and then we found the strength to do it because everyone around us was telling us to keep doing it.
Yeah.
Gabby's sister would tell us to do it. Steve Soto's dad, why aren't you still doing this? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, life's too short.
Right?
But he was in another band, wasn't he?
Cadillac Tramps.
And, no, Louis was.
Oh, Louis was in a band called LP3 and the Tragedy. He was in a band called Los Villains.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So he already kind of had his thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a bunch of bands, and he's done bands with Matt Freeman from Rancid. He's done a lot of different crazy projects, and his dad is Louis from Los Lobos,
Awesome.
and Louis jammed with them too and toured with them, and
That's cool.
when Louis came into the band, like I remember being so blown away. Me and Gilbert, like when Gabby passed, Sonny retired from doing the band, and it was just me, you know, and Gilbert was always our tech, so we bumped up Gilbert to vocals because he's
Awesome.
the funniest dude we know,
Awesome.
period. And then Louis, you know, joined the band, and it just, I don't know, it was like a second life for us, you know. And
Do you have people showing up? Do different crowds show up to different shows, or is like someone's like, oh, I love you in Voodoo, I'm gonna come see you in Death by Stereo too. I'm gonna see you. Do you have those type of fans that go to all of them?
There's definitely separate crowds, but I do have fans that go to all of them, and it's really cool.
Because they're more like fans of you, so they
Yeah.
want to see what you're doing. Yeah,
which
got
I
it.
feel really lucky, and thank you to everyone that supports me in all of my projects, because I can't believe it. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I'll definitely, I'll be at a Voodoo show and see a Death by Stereo shirt or a Manic shirt or vice versa, and it's pretty wild. Like I've been in places where like I wouldn't think they'd get the jokes. Like, you know, I'm in somewhere in Eastern Germany, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'll text the guys, just saw a Manic shirt tonight. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
like what? You know?
That's pretty
so
cool.
So it's pretty wild, man. And I feel really lucky, but I actually have been involved with this other project I want to tell you about.
That's what I was going to get to. Yeah.
So quite a while back, Eric, the sax player of Voodoo, created this project with a couple of his old friends called Mutiny. They created a manga style comic book, like a Japanese comic. It's a black and white style of art, and it, you know, reads Japanese right to left. They created this story, and in the story, there's this band called Mutiny, and he was trying to create an EP of songs about, you know, about the story, and it would be kind of like the band from the comic book is playing them. So he got a bunch of different friends to play on it, and he asked me to sing part of it.
Awesome.
And he's from Pittsburgh, and I flew out to Pittsburgh, and I ended up singing on most of it. It just kind of happened. We were vibing and flowing, you know?
Yeah.
And then he got our trombone player from Voodoo involved, Mike from Death by Stereo to play drums. It ended up becoming this thing. And then he got the two vocalists from a band called Frail, a Japanese ska punk band, to translate and redo all the vocals in Japanese.
Sick.
Yeah, and so they put out this 12-inch that comes with chapter 1 of the comic, and it's a story about how all the elite have fled the planet to another planet where they can go live somewhere that's not falling apart, you know, and our planet's just trashed. And it becomes this battle between regular folks like us and the elite. And Mutiny is part of this. This band is in this story.
Oh, this is deep.
It's crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's something that's just kind of like a recording project, but we, a few months back, got offered to play this fest in this club in Connecticut, and we flew out there, and all these people were singing along to all the songs. We couldn't believe it. And the first pressing of that LP sold out like immediately, and we're like, whoa, you know, we're onto something here. This is cool. And
Absolutely.
so we just recorded a couple new songs and put one on Spotify.
Where can they check it out?
Mutiny the band on Instagram, and Mutiny's on Spotify and all the streaming services now. There's
So
an
this
EP.
is a fourth band now.
Yes, it's but it doesn't really tour, you know. But there's
Not
an
yet.
EP.
Sounds like it's gonna. If it keeps
We
going.
hope it will, because dude, get this. So
Elon Musk is involved.
we
Dude, I could buy a bunch of robots. I just thought of
we can
this.
send the robots on tour.
No,
Franchise your
I don't
band.
have to hire musicians anymore.
Exactly.
Just program the robots.
Totally.
I own all of it.
Just take them on tour. So we have this 2 new songs, and recently the band got invited to play another fest in Virginia. I wasn't there because I was at Death by Stereo, so the Japanese dude flew out, and between the guitar player and him, they sang the songs in English and Japanese. So it's this weird hybrid band now that they can just play without any, like, if someone can't do it, someone from a collaborator.
Wow.
It's pretty wild.
That's pretty cool.
Yes, and so the 2 new songs are in English and in Korean. They got
wow.
these 2 singers from 2 members of this band.
Oh,
called
so you're gonna
18
do every
Fevers.
language?
Yeah, as many as we can. And
Wow.
these guys from this band called 18 Fevers from South Korea, who we met in the UK, sang on it and translated it, and they're going to write them into the story. So everyone we collaborate with is going to get written into the story somewhere. And the 2 new songs are going to come out on a 7-inch and have a little like mini zine in it that kind of has that part of the story. Like,
Wow, super interesting.
yeah, so it's going to be like an ongoing recording project. Sometimes it'll be a guy from Japan singing. Sometimes it'll be me. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes, you know. So
That's
I'm just
awesome.
stoked that they are letting me be a part of it. Please check out Mutiny. Like, it's really exciting. It's
Yeah.
me and Jose and Eric from Voodoo, Mike from Death by Stereo, our friends JP and Chris. Chris is from a cool band called Dissidente, and it literally sounds kind of like a mix between Death by Stereo and Voodoo, like really hard shit with the horn section. Like,
wow,
it's gnarls, dude.
That sounds right.
I'll send you links and stuff.
No, keep talking. I'm gonna look it up right now.
But yeah,
keep talking. And one other thing, you're also managing, huh?
Yeah, I'm tour managing, and
too.
Yeah, so now
what?
Yeah, and I'm not doing Voodoo, so I have more time opening up next year. And
how do you spell Mutiny?
Mutiny.
T-I.
And I've always done production work and worked for bands when I'm not on tour. That's like my day job or whatever. But
which one is it?
Go up.
All right, I'm gonna find
I can't
this.
see.
Hold on, Mutiny. This is Mutiny the band.
If you hand me your phone, I'll grab it for you.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, we're doing this.
Yeah, I'm gonna play it
But
right now.
I tour manage artists, and
Well, you've been in a band, you know what bands want.
exactly. So
You know how's that been on the other side?
our new single is the song on top.
So how's that been on the other side?
I love it, man, because I work a lot for some different Swedish rap artists.
Cool.
I randomly, through music and people, met these guys, and they're great. I work for a group called the Drain Gang and another artist called Young Lean. And right now, kind of in the middle of a tour, I'm tour managing one of the members of the Drain Gang called Bladee. He's doing a bunch of solo shows in the U.S., and
cool.
I handle everything for him from top to bottom. I mean,
That's what I mean about
it's a
you.
big
You want to
production,
go.
man.
All right, we're gonna play Mutiny. It means you just want to go. Can you hear that? Hold on, I hear the vocals. Oh, I'm gonna start a pit right now.
cool, right?
Way cool. This is sick. You gotta check out Mutiny, dude. You know what? It's almost
I'm
like
hitting that verse kind of like you, that same cadence. You do that.
yeah, dude. It's like almost like all your bands that you've been in one.
Exactly, like horns over heavy shit.
The character, like Voodoo Glow Skull character.
Dude, yes.
Their Death by Stereo vibe.
Totally.
We got to end this here in a couple minutes, but I want to.
Dude, that went by so fast, man.
I don't want to touch by one more thing.
Yeah.
You're involved with Program Skate Shop?
Yeah,
right?
I'm one of the owners of Program Skate.
So you guys got to go to Program Skate Shop.
And
get
why,
all your skate goods.
When are you gonna come play at the shop?
I'm down. Bro.
Have we not?
I haven't not yet.
Dude, let's set
Because
can we
it's
set that up?
it's meant to be right now for us to hook it up.
Okay, we're making this happen.
Let me talk
Dude,
to my.
This is a deal.
Hold on, let me talk to my manager, my booking agent. Hang on a
All
second.
right.
Hey, so do you want to? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we're good to go. We're good to go.
We need to do an event with you, man.
Let's do
We
it, man.
have to.
Let's do it.
It's a deal.
Dude, you
And
got your
come
hands
check
in
out Program.
so much stuff.
I'm trying to keep busy, and I'm like you, man. I can't stop. I'm addicted to work.
You're like
You know
a
what I mean?
kid's dreams that come true, and then you just like keep going and going and going.
Dude, it's.
I admire it. It's awesome.
I'm so grateful. I feel so lucky. And thank you to everyone that's ever supported me. Thank you to you for always supporting me.
No,
all
I want
this time.
everyone to follow you, and I always see tag your social medias, your Instagram. And all
F
that.
by Stereo. EF by Stereo is my socials. At Death by Stereo Band. Grupo Manic Hispanic.
Keep going.
Mutiny the band. And Program.
Program Skate
spelled
Shop.
European style. Program.
But that's like 2 E's. Or
Actually
3 E's
named
or-
after from the Refused record, Refused Party Program.
Oh,
they
wow.
spell it, yeah.
Oh, okay, there you
That's
go.
where we got the idea.
Layer
love
it, dude.
Refused, love Refused.
I'm really into this Mutiny thing. You got me all hyped on this.
Dude, I'm stoked. I'm stoked that you dig it. And
I just
everybody,
started listening
please check
for
it
30
out.
seconds, but I could pick up on it right away. I'm like, okay, yeah.
And we're gonna try and start playing and doing stuff, but we're just kind of getting it off the ground. And I mean, we didn't even have enough songs for a set when we got asked to play that show. So we got there and played songs that weren't out. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
so we're literally a brand new band.
I feel like good vibes with this, man. I feel like it's coming out swinging.
We gotta write you into the story. And
Let's
get you involved.
do it.
Dude, how dope would that
Do
be
it,
on your
do it.
bike? Oh,
The toothless outcast
dude,
bike rider.
dude, we have to. Do we? Yes,
Yes.
the best.
Yes. I really a good character.
Dude, we have to get
You know what?
Dude,
No,
yes.
you know what? Real quick, you know what this is like? This is like the girl, a girl, let's just say, that could wear a wig and have all the fake kind of. And then, like, if a girl meets me, she's like, "Oh, cool." And then at night, I start to go, "I'm just
Dude,
not
I
the
love
same
it,
guy
I love
anymore.
it, I love it.
Let me take out my fake arm.
It's so amazing.
Anyways.
Dude, but what if we could get you into the comic, like, on your bike?
Let's
Like,
go, bro.
Dude, you could be like a hero in the comic on your bike, like fucking shit
Like
up.
I am in real life, bro.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah.
Shout!
Woo! Yo,
Dude.
follow Efrem. Follow everything he's doing. Okay, he's a good dude, good vibes.
Likewise,
Super creative.
Follow Rick, everything he's doing.
Yeah, follow the show. Tell your friends. Thanks a lot for watching. I appreciate it.
I love you guys.
All of you guys. Love you. Stay rad.
Thanks, Rick. I love you, bro.
Later,
Yes,
yeah.
dude.
Everybody ready? Come on, let's go.